Hello and welcome to another wrap-up episode of Who Would Win Masters, where we take a look back on our last episode, your reviews, your comments, all that good stuff. I am Sam Proof, here with Race to Canis, and today we are talking about Jack Burton versus John Spartan.
We are talking about Jack Burton versus John Spartan. Now, this episode featured one Kevin Goatee, who I gave every opportunity to. I'm just going to put it out on the record. I asked him if he had any final thoughts he wanted to share with the people, and his response to me was, hold on, I'm going to grab it here. I don't as of now, but can think if there's something to add. And the fact that I never got anything more says he feels that he has said enough. Not only in the show, but also after the show, Kevin does not use this full time.
Yeah, no. He's like, peace out. See you on the other side.
He said, I've done what I was here to do, sir. Good day.
Yeah.
I say good day, sir. Yeah. So John Spartan versus Jack Burton. I love this battle. I love this matchup. You know, it's a little more on the nose that I generally prefer matchups to be. If you know me and you know the Who Would Win show for a very, very long time, I hated doing, I refer to them as the stale matchups, the ones everybody's talked about a million times. The ones that, Goku versus Superman, right? RoboCop versus Terminator. If they made an epic rap battle of history about it, I probably don't want to do a Who Would Win battle about it. But those are the ones that everybody wants, and those are the ones that everybody tunes in for. So who am I to say now? I know with Kevin Goatee as a, give
the people what they want. That's it. Just do it.
No, give them what they want. That's it. So I know with Kevin Goatee, he's a movie guy. He's a movie buff. He had a movie podcast, Gutting the Sacred Cow. I've been on it several times. Go check it out if you haven't already. I will say I knew he was going to come in wanting to do a movie battle and probably a battle with two movie characters, so it would be the most fair. So he came at me with Jack Burton from Big Trouble in Little China, and I'm like, that sounds great. I love Kurt Russell. I love that movie when I was younger. I used to have it on, videotape. Kids, ask your parents. And I loved it. So I just brought to him a list of other characters. We talked about doing Ben Richards from The Running Man, the Arnold Schwarzenegger character. Yeah. I believe there was another Arnold Schwarzenegger character, maybe from like Cobra, that Kevin talked about us doing. But at the end of the day, I wanted to do Stallone, a little Tango and Cash reunion as it was brought to my attention.
Oh, sure.
That's another fantastic movie. Just for the record. And I love Demolition Man. I've gone on other podcasts and I've talked about how much I love Demolition Man. What a great opportunity to watch it again. And I'm hoping that people out there enjoyed the battle. It seems like it went over pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, I think going into it, there's some fun characters just to start with, like wide known. There's a lot of nostalgia to both of those characters that makes them really stand out. And a lot of quotable moments, right?
It's a very, very quotable movie, and the cat has entered the chat. Thank you very much. Folks. Sam's cat is now with us. Yeah. Well, those of you who don't know, Sam fosters cats, right?
That's right.
Why don't we take a moment and plug that? Why shouldn't we?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, my wife and I, for the last 8 years, have been volunteers for Kitten Rescue under the username Cute Avalanche, where we both foster and live stream our cats. We've fostered over 200 cats and kittens, and we focus on specifically bottle baby kittens, which are kittens under 8 weeks old, which most people don't realize this. At a typical shelter, they end up at the top of the euthanasia list because shelters just don't have the staff to deal with that. So we try and take that off their hands.
Phenomenal. And you could wait, where do people go to live stream cats? I knew it was a thing, but it never hit me that I could just be watching live stream cats all day long.
We multicast, so we're on pretty much any of the big platforms you can think of that are horizontal platforms. So Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, any of those as Cute Avalanche, one word, no spaces, and you'll find us.
That's great. Okay, Cute Avalanche. There we go. Everybody go do that. If you like, so here's the deal. When you listen to the show, there will be cat noises.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There just will be.
Yeah. There's no way around
it. It's for a very good reason. There's nowhere. Yes. Sam is got 200 cats in his house right now.
Not
right? Did I get that right? 200 cats now?
No.
All at the same time, right? 200
years.
cats?
Yeah, that's right. No, not at the same time.
Thank you.
The most we've ever had is 14, which is a lot.
14 cats!
There's a lot.
That's, to me, it sounds like not enough, but that's just me.
Right now, just this one
anyway,
seems like a lot.
It does. It does. So, and if you're looking at adopting a cat, come talk to Sam. Right? Is that a thing? You can just hand him over.
Yeah, you can get in touch with us. We go through kitten rescue, but we could totally organize.
Go through a kitten, or just show up at Sam's house and just hold out your hands and say, "Please hand me kitten, sir," and he'll come back.
Please, sir, can I have
the cat?
Can I have a cup of kitten?
And Sam will provide that service to you. So keep that in mind. If you like the sound of any cat in the background of a Who Would Win Masters show, that cat can be yours if the price is right.
That's right.
I assume
we'll go with that. That's
price.
fine.
I mean, that works. Okay, fair. Anyway, we're talking about John Spartan versus Jack Burton. And what I really liked about this movie, I went with my wife and I said to her, I want to watch these movies for a Who Would Win show. And she's like, I'll watch Demolition Man anytime, any day. That's how you know you're married, right? And then she said, I don't know that I've seen. Yeah, she loves it. And I don't know if she'd never seen Big Trouble in Little China, I don't think. And she didn't like that one as much. I'm just going to be real with you.
What was her?
She did not like it as much.
Yeah, what was her big gripe on it?
I don't think it was a gripe per se. It was she didn't hate it. Okay. But she was also kind of getting late, and I think she was just kind of getting tired, and it wasn't grabbing her the way some other movies can, like, grab. It's the kind of movie that she didn't want to force herself to stay awake to see the end of. Does that make sense? There are movies, and sometimes they're so good, you stay up till you shouldn't, and then there's other movies where you're like, I'll pick it up later. That's what Big Trouble in Little China was to her, and that's okay. Not fine. Everything's for everybody, But no, I think she generally enjoyed it.
Well, that's good. Sometimes it's a little hard to get past the synth music. It's a lot of synth.
To me, that's a starting point. Like that's the reason I would watch a movie. I can talk about it. I haven't mentioned this. I got a short time gig in an office, and the office happens to have a TV in it, right? Because we use it for testing. I work in video games. A lot of people know that already. And one of the things that makes me laugh is whenever we go between inputs, say between the YouTube for reasons, and then switching over to the PS5 or what have you, we use the TV for like testing purposes. What happens is every time we go in between, it automatically stops on a channel that I've never heard of before called Fear Zone. And I don't know how it got programmed, but it always goes to Fear Zone, even if it's for a few seconds, like while it's doing the transition, or if you like turn off the PlayStation, it kicks you back to Fear Zone instead of the last thing you were on. And I don't know who programmed it. I barely know what Fear Zone is, but apparently it's just really low-budget horror films.
Awesome.
I'm not exactly sure, but I'm always worried the wrong person's going to walk by my office at the wrong time, and they're going to see some sort of weird, schlocky horror movie, and they're going to question exactly what I do.
Yeah.
And maybe they should. I promise I'm not in here watching Ghost Hunters for 8 straight hours every day, sir. I promise.
No, I would imagine it was, the more Roger Corman-esque stuff on Fear Zone.
No, it's like the low budget, like stuff from the 2000s,
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about that a little bit later. I've been getting into. I finally am making myself watch a movie. I haven't finished it. 2 movies actually, and we'll get to that at the end. But anyway, people are here to talk about the wrap up. So let's do some reviews. If Sam, you're ready for that,
I am. Yeah, you're gonna kick us off with that first one. Do we have?
I will. You just don't sound excited enough. I want some rah-rah. I want some pom-poms in the air. Thank you. Okay.
I don't. I'll shake a cat.
First review. That's it. Shake a cat. Always a fan pleaser. Yeah. So we're going to start with reviews, and then we're going to go to your feedback for the episode. Yep. John Spartan versus Jack Burton with Kevin Goatee. Reviews. We got brand new reviews to the Who Would Win Network. I love to see it. The first one comes from The Amazing Pug. It says, Ray is awesome. I already like this one. To quote Thor.
Is this a ghost account that you've created?
The world may never know. Okay. This one says, please read this review. It would make my day. Well, I'm doing it. Have a day. The Amazing Pug. Ray is awesome and amazing. I don't know why I picked myself to start with this one. Also, please do 11 from Stranger Things. Now, the previous iteration of Who Would Win show did do 11 versus Solomon Grundy, in what I thought was a pretty decent episode.
Yeah.
An interesting one. Found the decision to be a little suspect, but, I got my problems with judges. That's on the record. I don't need to rehash it again right now. Sam, why don't you go ahead and give us the next review?
This one just says 5 stars, 5 stars. Amazing. Is 5 stars, 5 stars is the actual username? Okay. It says amazing. This show is amazing. Should use more video game characters like Catnap versus Freddy Krueger or something. It's interesting.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know that I would call Freddy Krueger a video game character to start with, but...
No, I'm a little bit confused by that. Yeah, he is a movie character. He's been in a video game, I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
And Catnap is one of these, I think, is it like a mascot horror, like a new mascot horror kind of? I'm vaguely familiar with the concept of something called Catnap.
I'm not so sure what Catnap is. I, for a second, thought it was the cat from Gabby's Dollhouse, which my kids love to watch on Saturdays. But I don't think.
Now we're talking.
I think that's Cat Rat. I don't think it's a matchup for Freddy Krueger whatsoever.
There's Cat Rat, and then there's also DJ Catnip. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very powerful.
Right. That's right. We're in the know. There's a whole new podcast. It's funny because I had an idea for a Freddy Krueger show. I want to maybe at some point do a 3-way where it's maybe it's more than that, where it's like Freddy, Jason, and Michael Myers, where we get the Hollywood, the Halloween big ones to face off, all around for a sort of special edition.
Maybe, but maybe there's other October.
Yeah. Maybe there's other slashers to put in there, but I don't know. I think those 3 make the most sense.
They made a comic book, unless I'm mistaken, that was Freddy versus Jason versus Ash from Evil Dead Army of Darkness.
Interesting.
And I want to say I maybe bought it, but I never read it, or I'd never bought it and also never read it. Either way, I didn't read it. The point is, I would probably love it. You know what? I might need to go find that.
Okay.
But here's the deal. That's interesting. Let's put a pin in that. Let's talk about that come Shocktober.
All right.
Let's go on to the next review. It's from the coolest person ever.
Oh, really?
And the name of the review is, we found him or her.
Nice.
Say.
No, that's true.
Them? I don't know. The name of the review is Happy, Happy, Happy. All capital letters for this one. Do Kirby versus Snake Eyes or else, ... Now I feel threatened.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you got it. You can't let down the coolest person ever.
Kirby versus Snake Eyes.
It's an interesting matchup.
You don't want to let down the coolest person ever. It is. We've done Kirby. We've done Snake Eyes multiple times. Sure. I love both characters. I would have concerns that Kirby is just on this whole planet other level than Snake Eyes is. And look, you're never find a bigger G.I. Joe fan than me, and I'm saying that.
Obviously. I feel like that's a non-starter. Like it's immediately, that's just Kirby, right? Like he just eats Snake Eyes, right?
I don't see a situation where Kirby doesn't just inhale Snake Eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the problem.
There it is. That's your podcast. It's done.
What if we do an episode with Snake Eyes and then later do an episode with Kirby? Can we do that?
Sure.
Are we allowed to do that?
That seems fine. I don't know. Maybe. What if we put them together?
I'm afraid of the or else part. I feel a threatening aura around this 5-star.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we have to look into the Snake Eyes lore, see if there's something we missed that makes this make more sense.
Trust me, I don't know too many people that know more Snake Eyes lore than I do. And not to say I know all of it, but I know enough. No is the answer.
I mean, yeah. All right, moving on. The next one is from I Love Torchic. It says, hello, Akuma. You must add Akuma. Colossus was too weak to fight Akuma. For Akuma's fist, no equal. I have a challenge for Akuma. 5-way fighting game. Liu Kang versus Jin Kazama versus Akuma versus Asura. If that's too big a challenge for you, please just do Kratos versus Akuma. Okay? It's a lot there.
I love this, but he says it's a 5-way and then only names 4 people. Yeah. Maybe he meant for Kratos to be the 5th one?
Probably.
I'm a little confused by the review. I mean, here's the deal. I appreciate the review. And you know what? I actually suggested Akuma for a future battle, and I was told Akuma a little too strong for the character we were talking about. So I gotta come back to Akuma at a later time. I've done Akuma on the original Who Would Win show, and I love the character. Trust me, I love Torchic. I'm into Akuma. If there's like I said, I suggested Akuma for a battle coming up soon, and I got turned down by the other debater. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're allowed to. Other debaters allowed to veto picks.
Yeah.
If if
Wow.
they don't feel that it aligns properly with power level. And I am open to it every time. I want to make sure in every debate, I'll say this again, every debate, I want to make sure that both sides are happy with the matchup before we get into it. I'm not here to just like, you took Snake Eyes? Well, I'm taking Kirby. I'm not here to do that to people.
The Kirby stomp. So they said no, and you said fine, Akuma Matata.
Oh, boy. No. I knew it was coming, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. That's upsetting. Anyway, we got one more review.
Yeah.
One more review from Cade Likes Who Would Win. The name of it, get ready for this. The name of the one is great. OG Show, Please. We got a fan of the original Who Would Win show. I have been listening to this show since season 1. This show has been here for the ups, the downs, the moves, the sickness. Can I have it back, please? Now, Cade, first off, I appreciate the 5-star review. I also appreciate that there is one constant in this universe, Cade, and that constant is change. And I know it can be a little bit scary. You fall into a groove, you got something you like, and who didn't love the original Who Would Win show? It ran for 6+ seasons. I was named by me a grand champion of Who Would Win, the Who Would Win master, if you will. And when the opportunity came back to grow the network, put 2 shows on there, James wants to do it a very specific way that is in his wheelhouse. I'm wanting to go a different direction in my wheelhouse. And guys, there's nothing wrong with that. I want you to go and try to support both shows. I obviously want you to listen to this one first, but I come out on Monday. That should be easy, right?
That's easy, yeah.
I come first in the week. Listen to me first. Start your day off right, as I would like to say, or your week off right. But that being said, there's no bad feelings. I want you to enjoy it all. We want to grow and listen to the Mortalverse audio dramas with DC Comics inspired stuff when that comes out. Anything that shows up on the Who Would Win network feed, I want you to listen to. But regrettably, Cade, you've got like 300 episodes of the Who Would Win show that you can go back and listen to. That's not really going anywhere. So there's a lot of content you can go back and revisit if you start getting sad and lonely for the old days. And you know what? It's okay to feel things. It's okay, Cade. I'm here for you.
Yeah, that's good. You just turn it on while you go to sleep. It'll fill in the gaps. It'll be nice.
If me shouting at you doesn't get you sleeping in 5 seconds or less, you have insomnia.
There you go. You could do a special Patreon tier of just Ray shouts at you. That'd be nice.
Yeah, you know what? I should get, I was going to say OnlyFans, but that's not what I meant. What's that other one? Cameo. That's the one I'm trying to think of.
Yeah. You could do a Cameo.
Nobody wants the OF from Ray. The Cameo where you pay me money and then I just shout at you. Huh? Who wouldn't want that?
Beautiful. All right. Thank you. Thank you for all those amazing reviews. And I think now it is time to see how the fans actually voted on this episode. Yeah?
That's right. Go patreon.com/whowouldwinshow. You can go on there and you can vote every single fortnight, as the kids might say.
That's right.
And you can have it your way, like it's Burger King, where I'm not allowed.
Yeah,
you can actually go on there and vote.
Exact words, but yeah.
Yep. See, that's how it is. So I'm going to do a little drum roll here, and then Sam is going to give us the actual results from the fan vote on patreon.com. Here we go. All right.
With 70% of the vote, it is the future man, John Spartan, taking on Jack Burton with only a measly 30%. I'm actually, and that's how I called it. Yeah.
The fans are going crazy.
It's great. I think there's, no matter which way you vote, they're both great characters. Like everyone, has a lot to connect with them, right? Maybe you drive a big rig, maybe you've been frozen in, time. There's a lot to really just, attach yourself to those characters.
There is. Look, everybody loves Big Trouble in Little China. Everybody loves Demolition Man.
Movie.
If you don't, you should, because it's so good. It's so delightful, and you should love both. That's my opinion.
For sure.
First and foremost. But anyway, thank you very much to the people at home. We are going to go to commercial really quick. And when we come back, we're going to read all of your insights and all of your comments from all the different social medias that I track. And we'll be right back with that in just a moment. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's a new year and we all know how it goes. People are making overly difficult resolutions that they will not be able to keep. But what if all you need to do to thrive in 2026 is just relieve a little bit of your mental burden that's been keeping you weighed down? Therapy is a great way to work through stress and work on yourself. I'll tell you, 2025 has been challenging for me personally. I've spent much of the year working to let go of toxic relationships and situations, and I will tell you, things can improve if you put in the time to work on them. And BetterHelp is a great way to start your personal growth journey. BetterHelp has qualified therapists that are fully licensed in the USA. They'll work hard to match you up with the right therapist. But hey, if you're not connecting with your therapist, you can just switch at any time. They have over 30,000 therapists who might be able to help you. This right now could be the signal that you've been waiting for to try therapy for yourself. BetterHelp makes it easy to get matched online with a qualified therapist. Sign up and get 10% off at BetterHelp.com. That's BetterHelp.com. Have you ever searched yourself online? The results can be surprising, sometimes unsettling, let me tell you. Your phone number, home address, and even details about your family are out there, whether you agreed to it or not. That's because data brokers are collecting and selling your information to marketing scammers, basically anyone who's willing to pay. It's the reason these robocallers know your name and why ads seem to track you across every screen. It is a digital nightmare. Well, Aura could be your solution. You cannot conceive of how many different scummy data organizations there are out there. When I used this service, I was shocked at finding out there are hundreds of places my info could be found. Hundreds! And Aura can shut a lot of that down. And if your identity's ever stolen, you're backed up by $5 million in insurance and 24/7 US-based fraud support to help you recover quickly. Look, other services charge about the same, but they only cover 1-2 areas maybe. With Aura, you get it all. Data broker removal, credit and identity monitoring, device protection, fraud support. It's all in one simple app. Aura removes what's already exposed, protects what's not, and puts you back in control. Right now, you can try Aura free for 14 days when you visit aura.com/remove. That's enough time for Aura to start removing your personal information from these data broker sites. Sign up today at aura.com/remove and get the peace of mind that your privacy, identity, and finances are safeguarded. That's aura.com/remove. Certain terms apply. See the site for details. And we're back. Did you enjoy those commercials? Are you going to buy those goods and or services?
Yeah, I can't wait to get that thing. It's going to improve my life. Game changer. All right.
It's I'm loving it. Da-da-ba-ba-ba.
All right, starting us off, Jacob Mercer. Short and sweet.
Hi, Jacob.
Spartan wins, bigger and probably better trained. And I think that is what we saw in the debate from Ray's side. Yeah, I mean, I think it really just came down to a lot of like, this is a skilled warrior versus this is a guy with a truck.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't want to disrespect Jack Burton. A little bit I do want to disrespect Jack Burton. But I mean, he's fantastic. He wins his fights. And Kevin isn't wrong when he says that Jack Burton has the better feat. Like, I think John Spartan has the better overall, like, what do you call it, catalog of stuff. But when it comes down to it, Jack Burton did kill a god. And John Spartan did not kill a god. So, you know, the argument could be made. And I believe that's what we did on this show.
Yeah, I mean, I think the truth of it is Jack Burton is a character who is based in luck, whether or not that plays in his favor or against him, because he's both lucky and unlucky. And that element wasn't really debated. So, or at least not well. And that could have been a turning point there.
Man, the judge coming in hot. What's going on? Kevin, shots fired. Let's go on to the next one. John Shanks wanted to say, hi, John. The right decision was made as the fight went the way I thought it would. Still, a good excuse to revisit a couple of great fun films. And I hope Sam Proof, look out, Sam, you're taking strays, will rectify his egregious error of not having seen Demolition Man by the time the wrap-up comes around. So this is the question. We got this quite a few times. People were very upset with you for having never seen Demolition Man. Have you seen it between then and now?
No, I haven't, but I'll tell you what. I have been thinking of this. I have been thinking about this since, and I was like, what if I specifically didn't go out and see it? Also, part of that reason is because I have a limited window of time that I can watch stuff, and my wife is almost always involved in that. So, like, that feels like a heavy push to get her into there. But the other thought I had was, what if we set some sort of, like Patreon goal or event or something, and then I will do a live watch party of Demolition Man.
There you go. I love that.
All right.
I love that. You want to watch Demolition Man with Sam Proof? I want you to go on patreon.com /Who Would Win Show. Let us know that's a thing you want. Put comments in there, or just hit us up on Facebook or Threads or Instagram or anywhere else that you see. I will tell the people I created a TikTok page for Who Would Win Masters and started uploading our little short clips to it. And it's not working for me. It's broken. I don't know. I broke TikTok. I've tried to upload. I got 10, 12 videos uploaded, and then it won't do it anymore. It just, doesn't matter what computer I'm on, doesn't matter where physically I'm located. I've tried on 3 different devices, and it will not upload clips. Whether I put them in the future, it tells me it's uploaded, and then it isn't there.
Did you freeze them in time first? Freeze them in time and see if
I needed to freeze them like they were John Spartan, and maybe then they would have come through. I don't know what the exact problem is. I'm going to keep trying. Sam's going to try to help me out with that because he's the TikTok master. You got on TikTok. Were you able to get it working?
I did. I didn't have time to try it yet. I did log in, but I'm going to have to log in on my computer as well and then go from there.
Okay.
But worst comes to worst, I will just put it out on the official Sam Proof TikTok, which is literally at official Sam Proof, because we'll get them out.
It's got more listeners. There's only 2 followers, and that's why I bring it up. I just created it. I didn't really tell anybody, and it's there now. So if you are on the TikToks, please give Who Would Win Masters a look. We need a bunch of followers, so TikTok thinks we're something, and this is new media for me. I've never done TikTok before.
Yeah.
So
we're cool,
that's the most times I've said TikTok in a 2-minute span in my entire life, and probably ever will.
All right.
Sam, why don't you give us the next one?
Yeah. The next one comes to us from Snurts. Says, keeping it brief this round. Kevin came to make jokes. Ray came to battle. Ray wins with John Spartan. Is John Spartan the ancestor of Spartan John, a.k.a. Master Chief?
See, that's a good question.
That's
First off, Lord Snurts, thank you for the brevity. You don't have to keep it the briefest in the entire world. And we did take some shots a couple weeks ago at the length of but we were all getting started. We didn't know what was going on. That's fine. We have some long ones here, and we're going to crack on those people too. Trust me. because I'm a hateful, terrible person. That's how it works. Don't worry about that. But I will say, is John Spartan the ancestor of Spartan John 117, a.k.a. Master Chief? I'm going to say unequivocally, yes, he has to be.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. I think that's awesome. What a lore that is now.
Yeah, and I believe Halo came out after Demolition Man, right? The first Halo? Because Demolition Man came out, 93? Obviously 92 maybe?
Yeah.
And, Halo came out after that. I'm pretty sure. I didn't look it up. Why do research on a podcast? That's what I'm saying. But I believe completely that was their intention, was to make Master Chief a descendant, a clone of John Spartan. That's why they won't show you what he looks like with his helmet off in the video games, because he looks just like Sylvester Stallone. They don't have the rights. Guys,
how cool
this is a
would that
conspiracy
be,
we've blown wide open. Open.
Yeah, if they ever did that would be amazing.
I mean, it's got to happen now.
Stallone
you listen to me
too.
Bungie /313 or whoever the heck has the 3. Is that it? 313 is the Detroit area code. I don't know. Anyway, whoever's got it, do the thing. Do the right thing.
Yeah.
Put Stallone in the helmet.
Yeah.
Because I darn well know that Master Chief does not look like Adam. No, not Adam Driver. The other one. The guy
he
from
definitely doesn't look like
Orange
Adam
is the
Driver.
New Black. The guy, oh my gosh, what's that guy's name? Anyway, the one who looks like
guys in Orange is the New Black.
The one who was the prison guard. He was a terrible person. He had a run on Law and Order SVU.
Well, the gray hair,
that
the
guy.
salt and pepper guy.
Why am I blanking on his real name?
Yeah, I can't think of his name at all.
No, I am not.
Anyway, all right, moving on.
Pablo Schreiber, that's his name. He's a very talented actor.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, friends and family of Pablo. I am a fan of your work. Your 2-episode arc on Law & Order SVU was monumental. If you have not watched his episodes, they are hilarious. They're hilarious for absolutely the wrong reasons, but that makes it perfect episodes of Law & Order SVU. I don't want to say more than that. I'll spoil it, but he did more damage to the SVU team than anyone in 25 years. I'm going to tell you that right now. Oh, he crushes that. Yeah, and then they bring him back for more because why not? He's a great character. Let's go ahead and do the next one. We got Cam Sully. Cam Sully, I'll point out, he just said, I haven't listened to it yet, as upon this moment. Cam Sully sent us a battle request. He wants to come on the show, and you too can do that. You can send a demo reel of yourself, maybe like a minute long, doing an argument, showing us that you have some research chops, as well as a personality people want to see. And Cam Sully did the steps. You can send that to whowouldwinshow@gmail.com if you think you want to get involved in that. And I still have to listen to it. But Cam, you are in the running. Let me just put it out there. It says, congrats, Ray Staccatus, that's me, on winning unless it was Snake Plissken being represented. Okay. Another great Kurt Russell character.
Yes.
Escape from New York and Escape from LA. There was no way that Jack Burton was getting the win. Yeah, all of them. Oh, I love it. There was no way that Jack Burton was getting the win over any kind of Stallone character. Wow.
Lords of Flatbush. It wasn't Stallone in the Lords of Flatbush. He could beat that guy.
Yeah. I think, honestly, I do think that Snake Plissken could beat Machine Gun Joe Viterbo, Stallone's character from Death Race 2000. I will put that on the record. Also a great movie. Why can't Sam Proof and company actually watch the movies and shows from characters being represented? Sam, you're taking heat here.
All right, here's the deal, right? First and foremost, I am not the de facto answer. Like, I am not, I'm the MC. I am not I'm not the end of the road here. I am not the judge that matters. It is all of your votes and opinions that actually make the show what it is. So I'm one voice, and that's okay. And in traditional debate, those people aren't experts on the topics being debated. There's no reason for them to be. It is up to the debaters to present either side of the issue. And that's what they're here for. I have to go off what they say, not what I think. I could come into it and be like, hey, you know what? I've seen both of these things. I'll save you 40 minutes. John Spartan wins. That's not a really good podcast.
Not much of a show. Yeah, I would hate that show. Well, Cam goes on to say, sure, it was awesome that Ray 1 is an underrated Stallone character, but that's not the point, Sam Proof. We should impose actual research instead of a go based on if we like the sounds of one's voice or not. I don't know exactly what he means by that because you listened to the arguments and made a decision based on the arguments.
Yeah, and Kevin and Ray did the research. They were the ones that did the research. That's the whole point of a debate. Is those people do the research and present their findings to an impartial judge. And if I come into it having seen all of the things, there's a much greater chance of me having a preconceived notion of what the win is and then making that narrative fit my thoughts.
Yes, and that's been a problem in the past, of the previous iteration of Who Would Win show. Judges bring their own biases into the show, and they just refuse to hear the arguments. There was, should I talk about this? We had an episode. I don't want to say the exact episode. I don't want to say the exact judge. I'm going to try to give the internet some anonymity. But we had an episode that I was very excited about doing. We were recording the episode, and I was talking with the judge a little bit before we got started. And I said, hey, is there anything we need to know? Like, how you feeling going into the battle? Do you have any questions? They were a first-time judge. And they said to me, Ray, I just want you to know going into the battle that I absolutely hate the character that you're representing, and there's no chance I'm going to give them a win.
Well, that's shitty. Excuse me.
Going into the battle, I was told by the judge flat out, I will not be going with your side. So the fun in that battle came, and you could go try to figure out which battle that was. It wasn't from the last couple seasons. I'll tell you that. It was an older episode. And you could see my approach in that battle changed completely to essentially trying to logic the crap out of it to show specifically to that judge why they should cast their biases aside and go with me anyway. And at the end of the day, they still did not go with me. And it was a very fun exercise for me, but ultimately frustrating when my partner James would get a win in a battle from a judge openly before the battle even starts.
Yeah, that sucks. That's real lame.
So you don't want somebody to know too much, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like, or at least they have to have the ability to put that aside. We've had some great judges, one of whom commented on this thread that we're going to get to eventually.
Oh, excellent.
Anyway, why don't you go ahead and bring us the next one?
Yeah. I hope I don't butcher this, but Eric Heiting, short and sweet, says, blah, 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 Ray won. Yeah, there you go. Speaking of putting biases aside.
Yes. Look, he wasn't happy about it, but that's just how it goes. I felt good about this battle. I felt good about it going into it. I felt good after I watched the movies. I felt good after the debate. And the people have agreed. 70-30 is a pretty good back and forth, because you got to figure, like, of that 30%, probably 25% was going to vote against me every time, no matter what. So, I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah. And I mean, I got to say, like, I did say this during the episode, but Big Trouble in Little China is one of my favorite films. Like, it's top 10 for me.
It's
and
great.
I do love Jack Burton, for sure. It's so good. All right.
Yeah. Forbidden Mob. You got one here. It's called Awesome Episode, full of laughs, seashells, and Jack Burton being Jack Burton. Q-Fin mismatch. Maybe something got messed up there. That I'm glad happened. Spartan, an elite soldier, police officer, versus a charming truck driver who gets lucky a lot. The right decision was made. Iced Stallone for the win. Yeah, I don't have anything to add for that. That was perfectly said.
It's. I mean, aside from the part that doesn't make sense, it was very, very well put.
Yeah, I don't know if that was me translating it wrong or just I was just copying and pasting and it was weird on your end. Nobody knows. We could go find out, but why?
Okay,
not important.
Up next, Dr. Moxford, PhD. That's how you know he's a doctor.
Hey, Moxie.
Says, after watching Big Trouble in Little China, I've come to the conclusion John Spartan wins this matchup. Between waiting for Sean William Scott to show up to help him find his vehicle to bringing, and it looks like this got cut off.
Okay.
That's all I got there.
That's all anyone needs right there. I don't know. It's not a perfect system we have. We're working on it. I'll just move on to the next one. Thank you, Moxford. I appreciate that. Jordan Brown says that he says, about to be a shiny new tractor trailer on Auto Trader. So... he doesn't think Jack Burton's getting out of it, and he thinks John Spartan's going to sell his rig. That's, I guess, where we're going with this. And you know what? Who could blame him?
Can't sell the Pork Chop Express. That's blasphemy.
You can make a lot of money off it, though. I'll tell you that right now.
All right, so you saved the really, really big one for me.
I guess it worked out that way. William Schmidt. You go ahead and do William, one of those great judges I was mentioning before.
Oh, okay. Yeah, William Schmidt says, the challenger didn't bring much to the table, just a bunch of style comments and movie quotes. Yeah. It was entertaining for sure, but there was not a good argument for what Jack had any chance to win this battle. For example, Kevin never brought up the lightning reflexes that Jack possesses. Sure. The ability to perceive and react to catching a knife is a skill worth noting. It sounded like Ray was expecting this to be brought up, but when it wasn't, he decided to do it himself so he could counter it anyway. And then he goes on. Also, if Jack is at his peak, does that mean John Spartan was fighting the version of Jack on the potion that Egg passed around? That's fair.
Interesting.
That seems like a good point that should have been brought up, as it made many of the imbibers of the potion display superhuman-like powers. Jack also had a luck factor, again, that could have been brought up. In the end, I think John would still have pulled it out, but I also think Jack could have been represented better. For sure, I agree with. I think I've said most of those points. I don't think we talked about the six-demon bag at all, really. I think it was kind of nodded to. No. Yeah, but yeah, for sure. I think that was definitely a missed opportunity. Again, the lightning reflexes and the luck factor, I think the things that make him good. Yeah.
I don't think he dwelled upon it. Kevin came in, I think, feeling like he was an underdog and came out to put on a spectacle, came out to do his bits. And I think that's great. I think the show can absolutely use that. But don't think I'm not going to mercilessly beat you verbally about your head and shoulders if you come at me like that. Please.
Yeah. I mean, I think
William Schmidt, shot fired.
Yeah. Those are fantastic points. And I think if that had been represented better, this would have been still a win for Spartan, but I think we would have seen something more like a 60-40 on the vote.
And I'm going to say right now, it's very hard to come in and sit in the debater's chair. I've been doing it for a very long time. I know how to do it at this point. I know how to craft the arguments, and I know how to do the research and make sure all the important stuff gets mentioned. And sometimes I miss, an item here or there, but it's usually because I ran out of time, not because I didn't know about it. Or I didn't think something was as important as the judge did, right? So it is hard. Right. Kevin Goatee's never come in and tried to do this before. And he was one of the first people I reached out to because I know he's going to bring the heat. He's going to bring the energy. And no one can debate that Kevin did that. So I have a great appreciation for Kevin as a talent and as a performer. And, maybe if we have Kevin back on the show again, now he's done it. He's got those reps in and he can bring it even harder. Yeah, I'll go ahead and move on to Steve Moulton, or Steve Moulton, as I would used to call him.
Is that
before I met him in person and saw how large he was.
Yeah.
That's big Steve Moulton. Star of I Think You Should Leave.
Yes.
One of the the plumber guys. I forget. There's a name for him. He's going to be so mad at me for forgetting the name of that bit. But anyway, go watch I Think You Should Leave. That's a great.
Right. Turbo Team, is that right?
Sam knows. Sam's got my back on this one. Turbo Team, and I knew that. What's wrong with me?
I'm not a huge Tim Robinson fan, but I love Steve.
Oh, Tim Robinson's great. A lot of people, I'll say this. He probably doesn't remember me. But we were both doing Second City Detroit at the same time, and we were running in the same circles circa, I think, 2000, 2001. So that was a long, long time ago, but I absolutely knew who he was. And very hilariously, I'll just ruin it all. Steve will get to your point in a second. But Tim Robinson was a guy who I don't think did a comedy show with him that I remember. Okay. Maybe we did a jam together, an improv jam or something. But I'd seen him at different shows that you kind of go around and see all the different improv and sketch comedy shows going on. I was well aware of who he was and that he was very, very funny. And I completely lost tabs on him after leaving Detroit for Los Angeles. I had no idea that he was a cast member for a season on Saturday Night Live. I had no idea that he was a writer before and after that streak. And it wasn't until I Think You Should Leave came out, became one of the biggest shows on streamers. And all of a sudden his face started showing up everywhere. And in my head, I was like, I haven't thought about this man in 20 years. And there he is on my television making one of the funniest gosh darn shows I've ever seen in my entire life. What a true talent. What a great Detroiter and a fan of the Detroit Lions. And I'm just going to say right now, good job, Tim Robinson. You made it, man. Congrats.
All right, read Steve's comment.
Steve's comment.
Yeah.
Of course I want Burton to win, but even I can admit that Spartan has him outclassed in terms of strength and training. There you go.
Yeah. Short and
we got two more to do here, so let's get through. I know we're going over where we wanted to. We still got more to talk about. So,
all right, Max the Man 1001 says, very entertaining episode. I believe one of the strongest arguments for Spartan winning is that he seeks violence while Burton has to deal with violence.
Good pickup, Max.
Yeah, that's a good pickup for sure.
That is exactly what I was going for, and you found it. Last one, Matthew Dawson. He's the creative force behind the Mortalverse. Mentioned them earlier. The audio dramas based on DC Comics characters. If you haven't had a chance to go back and listen, there's a 3-hour full amount of Justice League Mortal, which is the canceled Justice League movie. The script was still out there. This is from right before, it was before Iron Man came out, I believe. So it was pretty old, the mid 2000s, the mid aughts, as we say. And he turned that script into a full on audio drama. I play Batman in that. Maybe you might like to see that. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Anyway, Matthew says, I've never heard a debate where one side just ran out of points by round 3, LOL. And that's a good point. Kevin did run out of points. You got to, 3 minutes doesn't seem like a lot of time. For me, 3 minutes feels very, very short because I'm used to talking a lot more than that and just getting up ahead of steam and rolling through it. But my goodness, you got to plan a lot and leave stuff out. And I think new debaters need to understand that. Over-prepare and assume you're not going to get to everything. And that's where I kind of come from when I say I didn't get a chance to do it.
Yeah, Kevin's the guy that goes on Wheel of Fortune and it comes to his turn and he goes, pass?
I mean, it could happen.
All right.
It could happen. Anyway, we're going to do a brief segment here before we get out of here, and we're going to introduce next week's battle. But Sam, what are you watching? Any movies, gaming, podcasts, anything you want to let the people know about?
So I've been, every week we've been watching the new Handmaid's Tale, and we had a shock where we thought this current week was the season finale, and we went into it and we watched it, and we were like, I don't want to spoil anything, but where's all the explosions and the stabbings But apparently there's 2 more episodes, so we just hadn't gotten there yet. But they definitely made it seem this is turning into like the Lord of the Rings, where you're like, this is the end. This seems like they ended it, but I guess not. But yeah, in addition to that, I've been listening to the 3rd season of the Dungeons and Daddies podcast from Freddie Wong and his crew, which is fantastic. I don't know if you're familiar with it. The first 2 seasons were traditional Dungeons and Dragons, but this particular season they're doing more of a Call of Cthulhu thing, which is super cool. It's really an interesting story, but also I've never played that system, and it's a system that you're gonna die as a character. Like you have maybe 5 hit points. Yeah, you're just gonna lose it. So it's been really interesting to hear.
Very fun. That's great. Yeah, I took the family out to go see Thunderbolts.
Well, how was that?
New MCU movie. It's great. I liked it a lot. I really thought they did a good job with, spoiler alert, the Sentry character. But let's face facts. You either have seen the movie or Sentry is in this movie. I was curious how they kind of do some of the themes with Sentry, and they did not hold back from it. They didn't go like full hard-boiled, oh gosh, what's that Harvey? Bad Lieutenant. They didn't go full Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel. But they told you enough that you understand what his deal was. And I loved it. I thought everybody was really, really fun in it. I thought Julia Louis-Dreyfus was great. I really, really enjoyed it. And I highly recommend everybody goes out and sees Thunderbolts. This is probably, in my mind, this is one of the best MCU movies since Endgame. Really? I think I would probably put it in my top 3. Might have to think about it a little bit further, but yeah, it's definitely in that zone. It's very, very good. And if this is where new Marvel's going, I want to go there.
So definitely a theater watch and not wait for streaming.
I mean, watch it the way you're going to watch it. I'm not here to tell you to spend those prices, but I think it's worth it to see in the theater. I loved it.
Nice.
There's so much coming out this year that I know I'm going to end up going to see in the theater, and I'm not just talking about the live action Lilo and Stitch that's coming out very, very soon.
We're definitely going to see that.
But, we're eating good. As movie fans, we're eating good. I do want to say, of course, I'm playing some Final Girl, the greatest horror-themed solo board game in the world. And I just picked up a new Arkham Horror, the card game. I'm going to talk board games because why not? The Drowned City, it just came out. I picked it up as a favor to myself, a little treat. And so I'm going to try out that campaign, hopefully sooner rather than later. And the other thing is Andor, I watched the first 2 episodes of the first season of Andor, and I liked it a lot. Tell me, should I keep watching? This keeps getting better and better, right? This is what I hear. I've been enjoying it, but I haven't gone back to it yet. So I might need a pusher. Yeah. So you people let me know.
Yeah. I finally don't have Disney anymore, so I haven't watched it.
Bummer.
Yeah.
It's great. I enjoyed it. You know what? It feels like a Star Wars, but it's made for adults. Yeah. And that makes a difference. That's what I liked about it. And then finally, this new... Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I saw a really good TikTok video about how Andor makes the end of the original movies where they get the Han and Chewie and Luke all get the medals. He says Andor really makes that just a funny moment because it's like, we all did the work. This guy just showed up off a farm yesterday, right?
Yeah. Who are these guys? Why are we giving them medals?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
definitely intrigued.
Because there's a new Final Destination movie hitting theaters. Yeah. And apparently that was written by a friend of a friend. So I'm very excited for them to keep writing movies. That's great. But I've never seen a Final Destination movie. So I went back and I'm halfway through watching the first Final Destination movie, and I am enjoying it. I'm about halfway through it. I think it's going to start ramping. I think it takes a while to get going, and then it starts to go. And we're going to get crazy with it. And I also watched a movie called The Electric State, which is a streamer on Netflix.
Yes.
And I watched the first half of it, and I saw it got terrible reviews. I didn't hate it. I saw it getting like 3s. I think I give it like a 7-ish. The visuals are startlingly good. And the story, we could have more.
Yeah, I love retro futuristic stuff. I think the style of that is so cool. And yes, there's some suspension of disbelief of really? They're just out in the desert doing this thing. I get it. Yeah. I see the people picking it apart. And I'm like, you know what? It's a fun ride. Just go with it.
Yeah. It's a visual feast, Yeah. It reminds me a lot of the Guillermo del Toro movies in that you're there just as much for the visuals. And, the story could be hit or miss, but you're there to kind of get immersed in this world. And I think people want to hate everything. And people want to hate everything that they're told ahead of time that they should like. So anyway, that's what we've been watching. I do want to take a moment here to introduce next week's episode. I'm going to drop that right now. Get ready. Now, this is actually the episode. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to pull back the curtain. The next episode is the one that we recorded first. It is the first record. You'll actually hear us mention it on the show, that it's the debut episode of Who Would Win Masters. It's going to be Spider-Man versus Blue Beetle with special guest debater with Spider-Man, Executive Vice President of Who Would Win, Brent Pope. Brent Pope is going to be debating me on next week's episode. We moved it to a little bit later in the show order. It was supposed to be the first one, and I'll just be real about it. It was our first time doing it. We had all new software, a whole new format, and we were kind of fumbling around a little bit on everybody's end, trying to just like figure out how the pieces fit together. Now we've done more episodes. I feel like we're a little better streamlined at it, but it didn't quite have, in my brain, it was a little bit more off kilter than some of the other episodes that we've done since then. And so it just felt like a good idea not to lead with it, but obviously we're going to put it third. So you kind of get a vibe for what the show is now. And if there's a little bit of jank in there with our process, you'll forgive us. That's the hope, at least.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to us and hanging out. And we'll see you for that episode next. And remember to follow us on all of the socials and join us over at patreon.com/whowouldwinshow. And if you're interested in becoming or submitting yourself as a potential debater, send us your 1-minute demo at whowouldwinshow@gmail.com. And who knows, you may be in the challenger seat next time. And thanks again for watching. And for Who Would Win Masters, this is Sam Proof. Stay strong.
Who
am I? Who am I now?
Nobody
This
knows.
is John Burton, Jack Spartan, driving the Demolition Man Express.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Sup everyone, Brian here, host of the TV and Movie Trivia Podcast. It's a trivia-style podcast focusing on TV and movies. Listen in for questions like, what's the name of Michael Scott's screenplay? What do you say to view the Marauders map? What are Tony Stark's last words to Thanos in Avengers Endgame? And where does Ron Burgundy say he is when he calls the news station sobbing from a phone booth? I've covered The Office, Harry Potter, Marvel, Will Ferrell movies, Lord of the Rings, and more, with even more on the way. So play along to the TV and Movie Trivia Podcast anywhere you get podcasts, and stay tuned for more trivia.
Hi, I'm Kevin Goatee.
Hey, I'm Kevin Israel.
We host Gutting the Sacred Cow, the best and most unique movie debate podcast out there. Why?
Because we invite our guests to pick a film that they find overrated or hate and try to convince us to see their argument.
They must pick a film that is a financial success, widely beloved, or critically acclaimed.
That's right. Some of the films our guests have tried to eviscerate: Raiders of the Lost Ark, Pulp Fiction, Ghostbusters. You can find us on all podcast platforms like Apple, Google, Spotify, and more. And if you want to watch our smiling faces, we're also on YouTube.
GuttingTheSacredCow.com is where you find all of our information. And we look forward to our guests infuriating you when they attack your favorite films.